Hi everyone, welcome to another video. I'm back at Silverstone today for Iconic Auctioneers Auction, and today is a special video. It's going to feature 27 of the cars put in by Lewis Hamilton's dad, Anthony Hamilton, from his private collection. So part of the main Iconic auction here, all of them basically restored to the highest possible standard, mostly British cars and some really, really rare cars. So we've got XKSS and two-room copies of the C-Types here behind me that you may be able to see. Just incredible to see these. Very, very rare cars. As I say, all of them fastidiously maintained and in astoundingly good condition. Some of them actually look quite good value, despite being in such good condition. Some of them are very, very expensive cars. You can see them all behind me. So today's video will feature some of these cars. I think there were 7 Jaguars, including 3 E-Types, 5 different Minis, the XJ220 that you can just see behind me in the 190 SL, and some Aston Martins as well. So anyway, I'm going to get cracking, show you as many of these cars from this incredible collection as I can. So I think one of the best 190 SLs you're going to see. This one is an absolutely amazing restoration that has barely been used since its completion. A 1961 car, obviously the 1.9 4-cylinder engine in these, only just over 100 horsepower, 4-speed manual. Interior as well. I mean, this is another pretty much Concours condition car. I can't see anything wrong with this. And whilst I think prices of these have slumped a little bit, we used to see these regularly making £100,000 or so for the good condition ones. They have definitely slumped. This one guided £100,000 to £120,000. You could see it making it. It's very rare to see such good quality ones. I mean, yes, there are well-restored ones, but this is pretty much Concours and hasn't really, as I say, been used since that restoration. So it's still in practically perfect condition, coupled with the fact it also had a full engine rebuild to Mercedes specification, parts replaced, renewed, refreshed, etc. It really is a staggeringly good-looking car and will probably make over £100,000 easily. Another really interesting car in the Anthony Hamilton collection, this TR5, a lovely little car anyway, of course, being pretty much TR4 design, but with the later 6-cylinder engine that appeared in the TR6, of course, so a nice happy medium car that they didn't make for long and not in big numbers compared to the TR4 and TR6. So this one, particularly interesting, 2.5 litre straight 6, of course, because it's the only remaining TR5 prototype. So a really cool piece of history, another car that just looks in wonderful condition, almost perfect cars these. Described as being sympathetically restored, I mean, I think it's a really stunning restoration. It's not quite perfect, but as good as you're going to get. But it's also the most expensive TR5 I've ever seen. Condition, but I suppose that history of being the last remaining prototype, it's £80,000 to £90,000. Can a TR5 really make that kind of money? Another exquisite restoration on another legendary British car. So this is an Aston Martin V8. Obviously it's a Series 3 and it's a 1974 car, famous 5.3 V8 of Aston Martins. And you can see it's a Series 3 with this much bigger bonnet scoop for the Weber carburettor that was on that engine. So the restoration was both bodywork and mechanical. Basically another one with everything done. It's an automatic gearbox. I can't get in there, unfortunately, but you'll take my word for it. It looks fantastic in there as well. Tan leather interior. Full engine rebuild with new forged pistons, etc. Went on a rolling road, 310 horsepower. That's pretty impressive. And these just seem to be eternally desirable cars and can easily make 100 grand in excellent condition. I mean, this is one of the best you'll see, as with many of these cars in this Anthony Hamilton collection. So £90,000 to £100,000 seems pretty fairly priced to me. Well, having seen so many amazing cars and so many absolutely fantastic restorations, here's another one, but actually one that I think is a bargain. So this is a Series 3 E-Type, as you can see, in quite a rare colour of, I think this is heather. So being Series 3, you can see obviously V12. Now look at that. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a better looking V12 E-Type engine bay, and this is fantastic condition. Another remarkable restoration, I believe all done by an in-house person in Anthony Hamilton's collection. I'm not getting in here. There's some very, very minor imperfections. There's definitely some creasing on the seats, so probably original seats, but it looks fantastic condition in there. And I think the quality of that, yes, it's a Series 3, which maybe not quite so desirable for some people, but it is a manual. It's, as you can see, absolutely stunning restoration. Guided at 50 to 60, I reckon that's a great buy. I've seen much ropier V12s, Series 3s go for 50 grand, being nowhere near as good as that. So one of the most iconic British cars, I would say, ever made. Certainly one of the most easily distinguishable in such a unique design. Jaguar XJ220, named, of course, 220 after the top speed it was meant to achieve. I think Martin Brundle piloted this up to about, what was it, 217 from memory, but on a banked circuit, which I think equated to 220-something straight line. Of course, V6 turbo, and originally meant to be a V12. Of course, they still have the V12 prototype in the British Museum, which I've seen, which is really cool. This one is in absolutely fantastic condition. I mean, this is like a new car. Absolutely incredible. It's actually done fewer than 4,000 miles. Is one of just 69 UK supplied cars. And of course, they were meant to sell 1,500 of these, but when it turned from V12 four-wheel drive 6-speed to V6 two-wheel drive 5-speed, they lost a lot of orders. Price also went up 50%, I believe. What a design, what a car. And these are really big news at the moment. A couple of famous YouTubers have bought them, and these are going up and up and up. This one, being such a superb condition car, is guided at 500 to 550,000 pounds. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one make even more than that. They seem to be really hot news at the moment. And the E-Type we looked at is next to a Series 1. So you can see here you've got the covered headlights and a 4.2 car, nut and bolt restoration. Originally a US car that came to the UK in 2012. An in-house restoration again by Anthony Hamilton's team, and just, you know, another one that's in perfect condition. Done, I think, 500 miles since that restoration. Stunning car, and one of the most desirable models of E-Type. A Series 1, obviously, but with the slightly bigger 4.2 engine. And again, that interior is stunning, guided 80 to 100,000 pounds. It's top end for an E-Type nowadays, isn't it? But we did see one at H&H earlier this year, equally as good restoration. I think that was a Series 1 4.2, or was it a 3.8? Anyway, it sold for 105,000 pounds. So this one could easily make 100,000 pounds, I reckon, particularly with the name attached to it. So this is an exact toolroom copy of the C-Type. The first C-Type entered into the 1951 Le Mans. This one retired, I believe, or the original version of this retired from the race, and apparently indistinguishable. It really is a true toolroom copy of the original car. Absolutely incredible, stunning. I mean, it is just a new car, basically. And guided 175 to 225,000 pounds. So this has got to be one of the coolest cars here. One of my favourites. I said the Mercedes Cabriolet, but this is just incredible. XKSS toolroom copy. So effectively a kind of road-going D-Type. Used a 3.4 XK engine. Anthony Hamilton has, since it's been in his collection, had a blueprinted rebuild of that engine. And look at it, the lines, the curves, the design, that interior. Just absolutely stunning car. And that 3.4 XK engine was good for about 250 horsepower back in the day. This one running 280 horsepower, lightened flywheel, all sorts of other mechanical things done to this car. Those famous D-Type wheels. And another incredibly expensive car, guided 325 to 375,000 pounds. Just very quickly showing this Triumph GT6 because yet again, part of the Anthony Hamilton collection, and probably the best one I've ever seen. So this is an early car, I think it's a 1967 Mark 1, and these are effectively a kind of fastback, hardtop version of the Spitfire, but importantly had the 6-cylinder 2-litre engine rather than the 4-cylinder in the Spitfire, of course. Another amazing restoration, absolutely stunning. So often I see these in a bad state of repair, particularly the shut lines on these, which are always, well, often I should say absolutely hopeless if I'm honest, on cheap cars. This one, amazing, as I say, probably the best one I've ever seen. Guided 25 to 30,000 pounds. It's a lot of money for a GT6, but actually, you know, maybe it's not such a bad buy considering it's such good quality. So I read this one and thought, oh, it doesn't sound like it's been fully restored. It's a 60-odd thousand mile car. It doesn't seem quite as good as the others in the collection, but I read on, and this has had a body restoration. Okay, it may not quite have the provenance. It's very low ownership, mind you, and a full repaint though. And it does look in wonderful condition. Signal red, yeah, I mean, a wonderful car. And another one I think, you know, despite, as I said, relatively speaking, high mileage, only compared with some of the other cars here, 65,000 miles, nothing for this 300 SL, that straight six engine. These go for a couple of 100,000 miles, don't they? But actually, you know, 40 to 50,000 pounds, I could see that making that in such fantastic condition. Yeah, does Anthony Hamilton's name add value to it as well? I don't know, but it's from a really prestigious collection. And we've seen these make kind of 40 grand in very good condition. This one is one of the best ones I've seen, without a doubt. And here's the other toolroom copy, C-Type 1951 Le Mans car. Just perfect. Amazing to see these, such pieces of history. Despite being a toolroom copy, there's still incredible history with these cars. I'm not sure I've ever seen a David Brown automotive car, the Speedback GT, like this. Quite a strange car in the sense that it's, in a way, looking like an historic Aston Martin, but a very modern interpretation. You can see very much kind of Aston designs, old Aston design, DB6 era really, or DB5 possibly. But incredible cars, left-hand drive. This one has the XKR Jaguar 5-litre supercharged V8 in it, so over 500 horsepower. Fantastic design. This one, as you can see, left-hand drive, every one different, hand-built cars these, over 8,000 hours of work go into each one. And this one, 600 kilometres on the clock, guided at 200 to 240,000 pounds. Well, as I'm sure you can tell from all the superlatives I used, one of the best collection of cars I've ever seen, astoundingly good quality. But of course there were many more cars in the Iconic sale. In fact, I had 2 sales, about 30 or so competition cars, and another 100 or so collectors' cars. I've actually done a separate video on that, which I'll link in the description if you want to see it, featuring many of the cars you can see in the background now. But back to the Anthony Hamilton collection, well, perhaps the first thing to say, sorry to Mini enthusiasts, I just ran out of time to cover some of those Minis. But just to pick out a couple of those, there were 2 David Brown remastered Minis, and I think they made 62 and 92,000 pounds roughly. Amazingly high for a Mini these days. Some of the most expensive Minis I've ever seen, so those sold well. And then from the cars I featured, you know, really not that surprised to see the 190 SL and Series 1 E-Type go for well over 100,000 pounds. Some of the best examples I've ever seen, and yes, that's top money at the moment, but I'd say well worth it in the context of what others sell for. I actually expected the XJ220 to make a little bit more than it did, considering all the hype around that model at the moment, but I suppose over £500,000 isn't bad still. But those toolroom copies really struggled. None of them sold, the 2 C-Types and the XKSS, although having said that, they weren't a million miles off the guide price. I suppose even in collector car terms, it's an extremely small market for something like that. But I would think the audience at Iconic would be one of the best markets for them. I was quite surprised that the Aston Martin V8 didn't sell. The other 2 Astons did, by the way, because these V8s usually sell really well. £100,000 isn't unheard of for those. This seemed a superb example. And really struggled. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of those really special cars. If you have done, please do like and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and see you soon.